Well, they did it. Blackrock just sold some Bitcoin. The ETF sold off some Bitcoin for the second time ever. We're going to talk about that along with what the other ETFs are doing, selling more Bitcoin. Let's talk about that and what is happening in this market. Is this the time to be greedy or the time to be fearful? Let's get into it. If you don't mind, hit subscribe so you can see future videos just like this. Also, if you want to trade crypto, there's a link underneath the video to Margex. If you're feeling bullish, if you're feeling bearish, you can go trade over on Margex. I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of volatility and a lot of potential gains this fall. While we have been going sideways for a while, this is typically what happens during the summer. Fall is usually a very exponential time, a very explosive time, a very volatile time. So set this up now. They're doing a big Caspa airdrop where you can get up to $5,000 in Caspa. And there's also a link down there to CoinW where you can get up to $15,000 in Bitcoin too if you start trading over there. Now let's start here. Third day of net outflows for Bitcoin ETFs. FBTC had negative 31 million, GBTC with negative 23, BITB with negative 8, and ARC-B with plus 5 million. Will IBIT save the day? And here's some of the trading volumes, like a decent day, not a crazy day for trading volumes. But no, BlackRock sold 228 Bitcoin. 228 Bitcoin times 60,000, that's about 13.6 million. Now, something interesting about this. Well, first of all, let me know what you think about this, right? This is only the second day in 7 months, 8 months that we've seen an outflow from IBIT. Okay, let me know your thoughts on that down below in the comment section. But it is interesting to see. Obviously, this is not, like I said, this has not happened. Usually we see a 0 day. Someone's been coming in and buying for BlackRock, or BlackRock's been buying themselves, one or the other, on days where it looks like they're going to have negative days. Like they've always been the buyer of last resort, or they've had some buyer that has been accumulating Bitcoin very heavily because they continuously have 0 days. The fact is, when you have volume like this, when you have $774 million traded in an average day or $1 billion traded in an average day, the chances that you would have 0 inflows or outflows is very small, and yet that's what has consistently happened. So maybe someone got their allocation what they wanted to, and now they're just sitting there like, okay, I'll buy on days I want to buy, but I'm not going to buy if you have a negative $20 million day. You have to remember though, this is still relatively small. Not even relatively small. This is less than 1,000th of what they have in the Bitcoin ETF. Right, they have $20 billion of inflows, and we're talking about a $13.7 million day. The reason that this is important is, or interesting, is just because it doesn't happen very often, right? It's a bit arbitrary. This is kind of like a rounding error, but it does signify that, you know, this is a time where there's less demand, maybe from hedge funds. Maybe it could have been that people were buying the dip on NVIDIA stock. You know, we've been talking about that. NVIDIA had earnings yesterday. Maybe people were buying the dip, or they're worried after NVIDIA earnings or something like that. Maybe they're just scaling out of some tech, right? Maybe they're gearing up in case there's some terrible thing that happens. Now, am I worried? No. The fact is, if this causes any worry in the market, I see it as a buying opportunity. And maybe it's because I'm an eternal optimist, right? But this 228 Bitcoin doesn't matter. What matters is the $20 billion of inflows up until this point. Earlier this week, IBIT bought $200 million and $250 million of Bitcoin. Would we be sitting here thinking, I wonder if we should be buying Bitcoin if they had bought like 236 million instead of 250 million in a day? No, like the fact is net, they're still big buyers of Bitcoin. Just because some hedge fund decides that they had too much risk in Bitcoin or the IBIT ETF, maybe that doesn't really matter long term. That's just my opinion on it. especially with only 5.97% remaining of the supply. Geez, just think about that. Bitcoin's gone up to $60,000. We're at a time where not even Blackrock's buying. Of course, there have been some whales I've been pointing out that have been buying up significantly, right? If the price goes sideways for a day and someone sells a bunch of Bitcoin, someone else is buying a bunch of Bitcoin. But for us to go up to $60,000 with 94% of the supply hitting the market, that's kind of crazy. There's only less than 6% left. And we have billions and billions of dollars allocated to try to get this last 6%. So yeah, I think this is a decent time to be dollar cost averaging, honestly. If you were looking, and I have a full video talking about whether now is a good time to be buying or selling Bitcoin. I don't know what's going to happen over the next couple of weeks. We could go down to 50,000. Like, just to be clear, that is possible. We were just there recently. Do I think that's probable? Like, do I think that's what's going to happen? If I had to guess on 70,000 or 50,000 next, it's a flip of a coin, but I believe in the next year we're going to be much higher than we are now. These are the summer doldrums where we just go sideways. Now, to be clear, I'm not saying that this is positive that BlackRock sold some Bitcoin, right? I'd rather see them have a 0 day. I'd rather see them have a big positive day. But as we know, things can change very quickly, like super quickly. People can change their sentiment on a dime, whether it's a piece of news, whether it is something that someone says, whether it's just some data. So we could be right back at $70,000 in 2 days. We could be at all-time highs in 2 days, for example. PCE is coming out in under 12 hours, like 9 hours from the time of this recording. The fact is, everything can change very quickly, and we are going into a time of lower interest rates, most likely, right? That is almost 100% certainty at this point. We're going to see rate cuts, which leads to looser monetary policy. We're going to see more inflation. As I covered earlier today, like Michael Dell alone could buy 100 Bitcoin every single day with his dividend cash flow from his ownership position in Dell Technologies. Like the fact is, there are billionaires out there that can consistently buy a significant amount of Bitcoin. There's going to be a massive wealth transfer. There's going to be better regulation. In my opinion, there are a lot of things that are very positive for Bitcoin. And this is just like a flashy thing that looks bad, but I would not be too worried, but I would be paying attention. Now, if you do want to trade this market, there's the link underneath the video to Margex. It doesn't look like the market is really worried about this, but let me know your thoughts. Again, there's that big Caspa airdrop. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see y'all in the next video.